All right, let's talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds, making money online, right here in South Africa. You've seen the hype, you've heard the promises, and honestly, it's just confusing, right? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise and get down to the real, honest truth.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll kick things off with the big question everyone's asking. Then, a much-needed reality check. We'll look at why so many people get it wrong and what you actually need to get going. And finally, we'll talk about picking one path and sticking to it to find a clear place to start.
All right, first things first, let's dive right into the deep end and tackle the one question that's probably nagging at you.
Yeah, this is the real question, isn't it? When you push past all the flashy ads and wild promises, it all boils down to this. Can an ordinary person here in South Africa actually make a real income online?
And look, if you're skeptical, you have every right to be. I mean, most of the stuff you see out there feels like it falls into one of three buckets, right? It's either too good to be true, completely confusing, or, let's be honest, it just feels like a scam. The promises are so over the top, it's only natural to think, nah, this can't be real.
So let's just cut to the chase. The answer is a huge, resounding yes. It is absolutely 100% possible. But, and this is a huge but, it almost never looks the way people think it does. And that but is exactly what we need to dig into.
And that brings us straight to our first major reality check. You see, the biggest thing that trips people up isn't whether the opportunity is real. It's the massive gap between what they expect to happen and what actually happens.
Yeah, and this right here, this is the whole story. We jump in thinking it's going to be quick money, super easy, with almost no effort. And then reality hits. The truth is, it's way more like building anything worthwhile. It takes time. It takes showing up every day, consistently. And you have to be willing to learn. This exact mismatch between expectation and reality, that's the #1 reason people give up.
So, okay, if it's really possible, then why do so many people try and just fail? Well, that leads us to the next big idea. It's not about the opportunities out there. It's about how you approach them.
I bet this sounds familiar. One week you're all in on dropshipping. The next week, someone's telling you crypto is the answer. Then it's something else. We call this shiny object syndrome. You're just chasing the hype, not following a real strategy. And the problem is, you never stick with anything long enough to actually get good at it, and you end up quitting right before things could have started working. And this quote just nails it. The problem is not the opportunity, it's the approach. Think about that for a second. That's actually great news, because if the problem was the opportunity, you'd be stuck. But if the problem is your approach, well, that's something you have complete control over. You can change your approach.
Okay, let's bust another huge myth. This is one of those excuses that stops people dead in their tracks before they even begin. The idea that you need all this fancy, expensive gear. Seriously, let's be crystal clear on this. You do not need a laptop to start. I'll say it again. You don't need a high-end laptop or a special camera or some perfect home office setup. That belief is just a roadblock, and it's one you can totally ignore. The truth is, you probably already have everything you need, right now, in your hand or in your pocket. Your smartphone? It's a powerhouse. You've got social media accounts, right? And you can learn the simple systems to connect those dots. You are way, way closer to being ready than you think. Okay, so we've talked about what you don't need. Now let's flip it and talk about the one thing you absolutely, positively do need. And hint, it's not a gadget, it's a mindset, a strategy. Look, there are a ton of real ways to do this. Things like affiliate marketing, where you basically recommend products you like and earn a cut. Or freelancing, where you offer a skill you have, like writing or editing. There's content creation, selling digital guides, the list goes on. And here's the thing, they all work. They're all legitimate. But, and this is key, trying to do them all at once is a guaranteed way to fail. This is probably the most important piece of advice in this entire thing. Pick one. That's it. Just one. Go all in on it. Learn everything you can, put it into practice, and just keep doing it every single day. Even when it's boring, even when it feels like nothing's happening. That relentless focus, that is the secret sauce. That's what separates the people who make it from the ones who are still jumping from idea to idea a year from now. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds good, but where do I even begin? Like, what is step one? And that right there is the final massive roadblock for so many people. Yeah, questions like, where do I start?
Who can I trust? What's the actual first step? It's overwhelming. You get so much conflicting advice online that you just freeze up. It's called analysis paralysis, and it's where most journeys end before they even start.
And you have to understand this journey. At the start, it's going to be messy. You'll have doubts, and the results will probably be slow. And you need to know that's totally normal. It's part of the process. But if you stick with it, something cool happens. You start to get better. Your confidence goes up. And then, eventually, the income starts to follow. It's a progression.
So, for anyone who's just completely stuck on that where to start question, the source material we're drawing from points to one solution. Find a beginner-friendly, step-by-step system. Something simple you can do just with your phone. That's the key. Find one clear path to follow so you're not trying to figure it all out on your own.
And hey, just so we're being completely transparent here, the source article does mention that some of its links are affiliate links. That just means if you click on one and buy something, the creator might get a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. We just want to make sure you have all the info.
So let's leave you with this final thought. We know it's possible. That's not the question anymore. The real question is about how you're going to approach it. So, instead of worrying about 1,000 different things that could go wrong, what if you just focused on one thing, making your first step a good one, and then following it with another? What if you chose consistency over chaos? Just think about what that one shift could change.